Hey everyone, this is YouTube Vids, and I'm coming at you guys with a Minecraft video. And honestly guys, I have not done a Minecraft video other than streaming with subs, like I think ever. But the reason why I'm doing this Minecraft video is mainly for those of you who have not played Minecraft in a long time. If you're like me, you go through phases with Minecraft. You may have liked Minecraft when it first came out, and then you kind of visited it like revisited Minecraft every 6 months to a year because you're like, oh hey, you know, I just happened to see something in there I may have liked, and then it kind of interests you to go back, and so on and so forth. So for me, like, I binge play Minecraft like at times, but there's a lot of time where I usually don't play. There's a lot of time where I don't spend playing it at all. But so recently I was playing Minecraft with some of the subs on my stream, and I decided to go out exploring. And there's some things I came across in the process of doing that. And then again, if you haven't been in touch with Minecraft for a while, some of this stuff is probably going to surprise you and be pretty interesting. And I hope that's kind of my intent, is I hope it actually interests you in playing Minecraft again to an extent. As we all know, Minecraft can be a complete waste of time with false sense of achievement, but that's pretty much most video games these days. So let's get right to it, guys. Let's start showing what these new features are in Minecraft. So one of the things that I found as part of just kind of perusing through some of the more recent features of Minecraft, we've got Microsoft introduced a locate command. Now I'm not sure how far back this goes, but to me it's new. And the reason why I'm showing this is because the locate, actually, if you see the description here, it says it displays the coordinates for the closest structure of a given type. So you guessed it, this thing can help you find key things in the game. So I push the space bar here, and now this is going to show me a list of everything currently that a locate command can help you find. So let's go through the list alphabetically here, because that's how they have it listed here. We'll go through the list alphabetically, and I'll tell you which ones we're going to touch base on, then we'll move on. So locate can help you find buried treasure, an end city, a fortress, mansion, a mine shaft, a monument, ruins, a shipwreck, a stronghold, a temple, and a village. The ones that we're going to specifically cover today in this video, guys, is going to be shipwreck, monument, buried treasure, ruins, and a mansion. But we're going to first start with a shipwreck, guys. So shipwrecks, we're going to see what a shipwreck looks like here. So we have, when you run this command, you'll see in the top left, it says the nearest shipwreck is at block 216 Y question mark 1336. So what does that mean? So basically X, Y, and Z coordinates. So you have the X, Y, Z coordinates of 216X and 1336Z. They don't give you the Y because then it doesn't at least leave some mystery, right? So we're gonna go ahead, and I have this command in here already. We've teleported to below, actually on the shipwreck itself. This is the top. Now again, if you haven't played Minecraft in a while, some of this will look different to you. But without further ado, we're going to move on to this whole shipwreck thing. So if you look at this particular shipwreck, again, they can only be so creative with Minecraft when it comes to shipwrecks because of the fact that you can't really turn a ship, angle a ship left or right, like it came down. Like a ship usually is not going to crash like, you know, straight down, because obviously depending upon how the ship was designed, you may have a special the way it curves at the bottom of the ship may cause it to hit the bottom and then tilt one way or another, or crash completely to the side, or sometimes ships land upside down, all that crazy stuff. So there's only so much they can do in Minecraft, so they did the best they could with some of these shipwrecks. And again, this is an example, I think, of a pretty big shipwreck. Don't expect all of them to look this way and contain all of the stuff that you're seeing. I'll show you inside the shipwreck. This just happened to be a good example of one that I was able to find that looked pretty nice. So in the shipwreck, essentially you see, like, you know, look, they actually have a plank on this one. You've got like some fence that kind of represent, like, you know, the outer part of the ship. And, you know, some of the pieces aren't there because clearly it's supposed to give the effect that the ship has deteriorated over time, right? So you can go through these shipwrecks. They've got different kinds of wood on there. You can walk through the shipwrecks And again, obviously it's easier for me here right now because I'm on creative mode. So, you know, you got to be careful about your ability to breathe and make sure you have some aqua affinity, or you corner yourself in there to breathe occasionally, wherever the case may be. But the key thing about shipwrecks is that shipwrecks do occasionally, and I'm going to say occasionally because they do not always have treasure, or treasure chests I should say. So shipwrecks do have treasure chests. In this case, this one has a bunch of paper and some books. Now, you'll notice this little thing right here. Oh my MG, it is a treasure map. So you actually have treasure map in Minecraft. Or if you're a pirate type of person, you like pirate movies or pirates and stuff like that, you actually have frickin' booty that you can go after in Minecraft now. So we're gonna go ahead and pursue that, but first we're just gonna gather all this stuff up. Now they have poisonous potatoes. What you find in these shipwrecks is gonna vary. Sometimes you'll find great things, sometimes you'll find meh. So it all depends on the shipwreck, and the size of the ship usually seems to dictate how much treasure you're gonna find in that ship. And like I said, some shipwrecks won't have any treasure at all. And I call it treasure, but it's not as good as the treasure chest. Alright, so we're gonna move on now. Since we found the shipwreck, you know, we got a treasure map in this particular case. Now, if you look at the treasure map, you can see yourself on the treasure map as you spin around in the center there, circle, and the big red X literally is where your treasure is located. So we're gonna move forward and see if we can find this treasure. All right, so this treasure was actually pretty far away in comparison to other treasures that I've gone after before. But if you look at the treasure map, it's literally like where this X is where you want to look. So now becomes the fun part, I guess. You need to start digging. Alright, so after lots of digging, oh my god, I finally found this chest. There is a treasure chest that was actually here, but I was punching so fast that I actually killed the damn treasure chest. So we're gonna have to go ahead and just pick up this loot right here. But as you can tell, one of the things that I did get from the treasure chest was this. Most of them seem to come with these chest plates, these chainmail armored chest plate. So if you're a fan of chainmail armor, well, guess what? You're gonna start getting some free. Now you also get diamonds, at least one diamond in cases with some of these chest plates. What else did we get here? We also ended up getting a lead, and we ended up getting, wow, two iron armor chainmail chest plates, some TNT, wow, a bottle of enchanting, some more leads, and a chainmail helmet. But then we also got this thing, this Heart of the Sea item. Now, Heart of the Sea, okay, so basically Heart of the Sea has no purpose right now, but the creators of Minecraft, or basically Microsoft at this point, and some of the original, you know, guys who helped develop the game, essentially their future builds are saying that this Heart of the Sea item will be something that can be combined with another future item called Nautilus shells. That will be, you know, again, be added in later versions of Minecraft. You will use this in combination with those Nautilus shells to craft conduit. We're gonna visit one more thing first, and then I'll explain more on why that's useful or where that will become useful. But again, it's not useful right now in Minecraft, but I would say that that's a reason. There's a future intended use for this item. So if you do find buried treasure, your best bet is to make sure you collect these. What we basically just went through, guys, is we found a shipwreck. We found the chest in the shipwreck. Within those chests, we uncovered successfully a treasure map. We went and found the treasure chest where that treasure map took us to, and we obtained our diamonds, our leads, some armor, some TNT, some enchanting potion, and our Heart of the Sea items. So they're pretty good. They're worthy of actually spending time trying to find. You know, you can find some pretty good stuff in there, especially if it's stuff that you want to spend time crafting yourself. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to move on to, guys, is we're going to go locate a monument. So monument is another underground thing. So let's go ahead, negative 856, 3672. Alright, so we are now here. We teleported to our monument, and you can see above ground, it's beautiful, man. is beautiful. The water is beautiful in this game, but above ground you can see the monument. So that's how. So you know that these things are going to be huge, right? I mean, these things really stand out. So monuments have these prismatine crystal blocks. So I'm in creative, so if I break them, it's basically going to just destroy them. But if you actually have a pickaxe, I believe it is, that you use to break these things, or maybe even a shovel, this should drop prismatine crystals. So they have their own use, but I'm not going to really get into the prismatine crystals right now. What I did want to spend some time showing at the monument, however, was these prismarine. There's these prismarine blocks, and so they're basically all over the place. All these things are prismarine blocks. These are like brick blocks, and these are just standard blocks, and these are, you know, whatever it is. Like these are stacked brick, and these are brick, and these are regular. There's all these different kinds of prismarine blocks that you can mine. Prismarine, again, is it's not useful right now, but I would say if you want to mine, you should highly consider mining some prismarine blocks for future use. And the reason why I say that is because prismarine blocks, future use in Minecraft, will have a future use in Minecraft. So we talked earlier about the conduit. Prismarine blocks will later be able to be used to create this energy, or this effect that applies to players around it. So you, in the future, you'll be able to use prismarine blocks to create a frame, and then in the middle of that frame, you would place that piece of conduit that you crafted by taking the Nautilus shell and combining it with the Heart of the Sea item. And once you've done that, that actually creates an effect where you can actually be within X amount of blocks of this thing, and you will not drown when you're underwater. Now that is the one key thing about these frames that they've talked about on their wiki, is that the frame has to be completely immersed in water. That's one key thing. It has to be completely immersed in water, and depending upon how you build this frame or other frames that are attached to it, the effect that this thing takes, the distance that this effect covers is going to be wider. Now the other thing is that also the other thing that comes with this prismarine frame that you build is that if you build another prismarine frame a certain way, it actually can be useful to attack hostile mobs. So these things will have dual use in the future. At least that's what's planned for what they've documented on the wiki so far. So I would say, you know, if you're here and you want to pick up some blocks and you're interested in applying that in the future, then you should consider doing that. Now, if you take a look through a monument, monuments are not, like, other than like being big, they look like mansions almost. They're big, they're green, they're shiny, but other than that, there's honestly not a whole lot of purpose to the monuments. Maybe they'll have some purpose, a bigger purpose in the future, but monuments for the most part right now have very little purpose, to be honest. You can swim through or underneath the monuments and whatnot. You're not going to find any chests or anything like that. At least I've never found any chests around these monuments or anything like that. So that's just something to consider there. So monuments themselves are not useful. They are kind of cool when you come across them, but other than that, there's no practical use for monuments at all. So that covers monuments, guys, and we're going to move on to... Okay, so let's move on to... I'm going to show you one other thing before we move... Well, we'll move past monuments, but I'm going to show you a shortcut to something we did earlier. So let's say you're kind of bored with trying to find shipwrecks, because they are kind of a pain in the butt to find, right? And you say, you know what, I just want to find where all the buried treasure is at, right? You can search directly or choose the locate command for buried treasure, and it will specifically tell you where that buried treasure is at. So if let's see, negative 952, 3848. I think I used the right yeah, okay. So essentially, so it TP'd me to, oh, there we go, okay. All right, so 952, 3848 is where it said our buried treasure was at. So this will point me to another location where the buried treasure is at. So it says the buried treasure is somewhere around here. Now again, This might be kind of a pain in the butt one to find because it looks like it may be underground here in the water, and sometimes that's where you find them. Now, I don't have a treasure map, so I can't really, I have to rely on the game to tell me exactly where this thing is at in order to start digging. So right now I'm just going to start digging through here and see like if I can find where this thing is at. So I'm going to try to be careful this time about how quick I break these blocks, so that way we don't, oh, there it is. Alright, so now if you notice, the command for the buried treasure told us it was at 3848, 952, but if we look where we're at right now, we're at negative 955, 3846. So even then, it just gives you a proximity of where the buried treasure is at. It told me it was right here, approximately. So it was actually 2 blocks over. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. So it's not going to tell you even exactly where the buried treasure is at, but this is what a buried treasure chest looks like. It's just a regular old chest. I don't know that it's ever wider than just 1 block. I've never seen it wider than 1 block, so you just get 1 chest. So if you look in there, again, more chain boots, chain chest plate, wow, like 3 sets of chain boots, a lot of iron, another diamond, a name tag, a potion of regeneration, and another heart of the sea. Now that's key, guys. In all your buried treasure chests, you're going to find at least 1 heart of the sea item. So they are stackable, as you can tell here. So like I said, you can stack them up. I believe they're stackable of 6 to 64. So, I mean, if you like to look for buried treasure a lot, then you will find a lot of those dang things, and you can stack them up to 64. So, and like I said, you find a lot of armor by looking through your buried treasure chest, so it makes it somewhat worth to spend time looking for them. So that's another way to find buried treasure chests without spending a whole lot of time looking for shipwrecks. If you don't want to go through all that. But the shipwrecks, again, there's chests there too, so you can, you know, spend time looking through the shipwrecks as well. Alright, so we're going to move on to the final sea-related thing I wanted to show you. So we also have, in the locate command, there's also ruins. So we're going to teleport to some ruins. So negative 904, 3880. So now we're going to look at some ruins, guys. So again, underwater is just, it's so nice looking. And depending upon where you're at, I will say this, depending upon where you're at underwater, some areas are extremely colorful. We just happen to haven't seen these, but some areas, I don't know what determines how colorful it is or why it's more colorful in some areas than the others, but in some areas it is extremely colorful underground. I did want to show this, actually. This is not just around these monuments, but they also have these, around these ruins, but sometimes you can find these around monuments. Monuments sometimes have underground, kind of like mine shafts in a sense, but not necessarily the same thing. Maybe more like ravines of open land, where then you can find magma blocks. So magma blocks are normally something that you would find in the nether, but you can also find them underwater as well. So that's kind of neat. Now this is a monument right here, and this particular one, there's no like actual opening, except for right here. I guess there's even then there's not much of an opening. So there's not much of an opening in this particular one, but you can basically just break through these little monument areas, and see, there you go. See, in the monuments you will usually find a chest in the monument. So just something to note as well is monuments can be found at times around shipwrecks. I've seen monuments around I keep saying monuments, ruins. You can find ruins around shipwrecks at times. I've seen them a lot around shipwrecks as a matter of fact. So I would say that if you find a shipwreck, if you're fortunate enough to come across one of those naturally, look around for some ruins, because there's usually at least at least one around it. So in this particular case, this one, wow, look, another treasure map. So I found another treasure map in here, and this one happened to have a lot of gold nuggets for whatever reason. So I had a bunch of gold nuggets in this particular ruins area. So again, depending upon the ruin, you may or may not have a treasure chest in there. This one, look, another treasure chest in this ruin, and this one, yes, emerald seems to be a big thing. Those do show up in these ruins at times. This one happened to have wheat and more rotten flesh for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly why those are in ruins, but you know. And then look, another treasure chest. So there's 3 ruins all side by side next to one another. And this one had and look at this, a Lure 1 fishing rod. I've actually managed to find an enchanted fishing rod in one of these things that had like Luck of the Sea and at least 3 enchantments on it, and they were all high level enchantments. So my ruins, guys, you are very prone and likely to find at least one enchanted item if you look hard enough. You see there's a prismarine block around here, but you know, like I said, you can find the magma blocks here as well, so you can use those however you want. There's another ruins, look at that, another ruins close by with another, look at that, more wheat, another treasure map. Now I will say that some of these treasure maps, guys, the treasure maps sometimes go to the same treasure, so because of the fact that they're so close in proximity as to where you found them, they may all go to the same area. So just because you find 3 treasure maps in one area does not mean that you're going to find 3. It's going to point you to 3 distinct treasures. Usually it's going to give you, the treasure map will convey whatever treasure is closest by to the actual ruins area. So now we can prove this out. So we found these 2 treasure maps were literally side by side. So if we look here, this treasure map is saying that the treasure's over there. And if we swap it with this one here, see, it's the same exact treasure map. So you're you know, again, the treasure maps aren't, if they're close enough next to one another, they're gonna go to the same place. So don't get too excited if you happen to find a couple of those close by, unfortunately. But you know, either way, you still found 2 treasure maps, whatever. So that covers it for the underwater stuff, guys. Like I said, you should spend, I would say, you know, spend some time if you like exploring. I would spend some time in creative mode looking around underwater, because there are some very colorful, depending upon how far out in the ocean you seem to go, the more colorful it seems to get. So again, that's it for all the underwater stuff, guys, and we're gonna move on to the last thing I wanted to show in this this video, which was, let's see, we don't need any of this stuff actually. I'm just gonna chuck all this stuff out, so you know, if someone happens to come find this, which no one will because I'm on my own little server here. So the last thing we're gonna look for here, guys, if you haven't been Minecraft for a while, Minecraft also added this one thing called a mansion. Now I believe there may be more than one mansion in a particular map. I think there is, but I'm not 100% certain. I thought yesterday when I was messing around with this I found 2, but I'm not really sure. So we can locate the mansion. Now, mansion, you're gonna notice, is far away, guys. A mansion is so far away it's not even funny. And at this point, this mansion's so far away, and the coordinates number is so high, I'm actually gonna have to write this damn thing down just so that I actually can freaking teleport to it correctly, right? So -47, 44. All right. So we wrote that down. Now we're going to teleport to this thing. Now, these mansions are found only in forest areas. So you have to be in a woodland forest, and as you can see right here, see how woodland-y this is? This is a very packed-in forest here, but that is the only place you're going to find these mansions, guys. Now, mansions do have openings. You can walk right into a mansion, but like this one, the generation of it was kind of meh. Mansions usually have a walkway and stairs and stuff like that to the actual mansion itself, but there's usually only one entrance into a mansion, so that's something to think about. I mean, you can obviously break through the walls in the back or whatever, but if you want to keep the mansion itself and the integrity itself intact, then you probably don't want to break it, if you're like me. So we're gonna go ahead. Actually, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and give ourselves some torches, so we can actually light this place up a little bit in certain rooms, because what's in each one of these rooms is unique and different. It wouldn't let me place that on this, on the floor, I guess. So yeah, some of these rooms are just weird. They don't necessarily have any functional purpose. They grow, like, they've got some mushrooms growing in here, so if you happen to need some mushrooms for some mushroom stew. Chests usually are empty in these mansions, so I wouldn't spend too much time looking through chests. They've got a room with a little flower pot. Now you notice when we walked in, there was actually a room that had, there was actually stairs. Now this is actually a prison. It has a cauldron in here. This is actually a prison, really. It actually has working redstone. My opinion, they should have put the redstone underneath and made it, you know, more, you know, hidden and neater looking, but other than that, it's fine. Ooh, I just heard a noise. There are angry mobs in here, guys. So we will run across a couple of these guys, and let's go ahead. We'll get out our sword so we can kill one of these things and not have to punch it to death and be too inhumane. So I hear this thing grunting. So here he is. He's hiding back over here. There he is. So what is this thing? What is this creature that we found here? This guy is known as a Vindicator mob. So a Vindicator mob is a hostile mob. They have a very distinct look. Obviously, if you know what villagers look like, you're gonna say, well, wow, yeah, he's basically just a villager. And yeah, he's basically just a villager. He's just got different colors. Now, Vindicator mobs sometimes will have axes and stuff like that on them. They do drop XP. And the thing about Vindicator mobs, there's another one, kill this guy too, is that they will drop emeralds at times. They don't always drop emeralds. Their drop rate is sometimes you'll get 0, sometimes you'll get 1, but the maximum you'll get is you'll get 1 emerald out of those guys at max. Nothing more, but you can get less. So in each one of these rooms, you know, you find whatever. You don't know what you're gonna find in these rooms half the time. You just have to spend time looking. Okay, this chest happened to have stuff in here. You got some gunpowder, a music disc, some string, some more rotten flesh, and some bread. So we happen to find some stuff in this particular chest that we didn't find before in the other one. So again, you kill these things. Look, see, he dropped an axe. He actually dropped an iron axe. Sometimes these guys will actually have iron axes on them, and they will actually run at you and try to hit you with iron axes. So that's why sometimes they will drop an iron axe, even though you may not necessarily see it. Now, also in a mansion, I just noticed this yesterday when I was messing around. I'd never noticed this before or seen this. But in these mansions, they do have these rooms where you're like, oh, this is just a room with some stairs, stupid stairs. Let me just leave this. Oh, no. No, no. You want to follow this. And the reason why you want to follow this is because you keep walking around. Oops, other way. Keep walking around. And look, lo and behold, there's a chest at the end of this thing. And in this chest, some more goodies, possibly. So in this case, I've got some buckets and some bones, some redstone, some more music discs. Don't really need like half of this stuff anyways, but either way, you got some music discs for your listening entertainment and, you know, whatever. So you never know what you're going to find in these mansions or in any chests, whether it be treasure chests or these chests inside the mansions or whatever. So, and like I said, don't be disappointed if you get here and the chests don't have anything in them. I mean, I've been through here before, and sometimes you never find anything in these chests. It's very disappointing. Now, they also have in the mansions these chest rooms. Now, you could spend time searching every single one of these chests if you want, but I'm pretty certain you're never going to find anything in these chests. So this is just a random, like, vault room. So if you wanted to live here and you just said, hey, you know what, I just want to live here, and they already have all these chests, or maybe you want to break all these chests and take them with you, you know, more power to you, man. You know, take all the chests and take them with you. Take them back home and use them for your own personal storage, right? Another miscellaneous room. Here's another room with another Vindicator mob. He dropped an emerald that time too. Here's a prison. I wonder if they would ever lock you in the prison. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I've never tried that before. So this is a room actually with a lot of prison doors. There's a few prison doors in here, so maybe you could convince them to drag one of those guys in here and then lock them in. I don't know. I hear one of those guys grunting somewhere, so there's clearly another guy around here. I just don't know where. Alright, so this is the first floor of a mansion. Now, mansions typically have 3 floors. So there's definitely a lot to explore in the mansions themselves. So that's floor number 1 right there that we just... hear him. Where are you at? Where are you at, you little creature? You little critter. He's around here somewhere. Ooh. Did you hear that noise? That sounded spooky, didn't it? We may have our other mob, our other hostile mob that I wanted to show off here. Yes, we do. So here is the other hostile mob, guys. These guys are known as evoker mobs. So this guy will drop some interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and kill this guy so you can see. Now he took a lot more hits. Now look at what he dropped. What is that crazy looking thing right there? What is that crazy looking thing? Oh my gosh, what is this goofy looking thing in my inventory down there? So again, if you haven't played Minecraft in a while, first off, these evoker mobs can drop 0 to 1 emeralds. So you may not always get an emerald from them. But the one thing they will always drop is this other item in my inventory here. This is called the Totem of Undying. Now what is the Totem of Undying? The Totem of Undying basically says, if I'm down to my last bit of health and someone hits me or something hits me where I would normally be dead, the Totem of Undying is a way to redeem your death or avenge your death quickly, I guess, in a way. So basically, when you go to die, the game will automatically take this Totem of Undying from your inventory if you have it in your carried inventory. So it can be down here in your inventory bar or in your inventory pack. It doesn't matter where it's at as long as you have it on you. If you go to die, you took your last hit, the Totem of Undying will be taken from your inventory. You will actually receive an achievement for using a Totem of Undying. You will get 1 heart worth of health back in your health bar, and then you'll also receive some special effects applied to your health as well. You can look up like what those special effects are, but basically they give you some special. The game gives you some special effects to where if you're taking other hits, as long as you can avoid hits for like a couple of seconds, it will be enough for you to regain full health. So that's where Totem of Undying can be extremely helpful. And so if you're here in one of these mansions and you find a lot of those evoker mobs, you're in for a treat because you can just loot up on these Token of Undyings and Totem of Undyings, and you know, carry a bunch with you when you go fight the Ender Dragon, for example, or if you're gonna go to the end or wherever the case, or the end city, or just going underground. You know, you can use these things to come in very useful for you. So here's another area, interesting little area. Oh, this takes us to the 3rd floor. Sometimes you gotta look. Sometimes these guys, look, they get caught up around here. They spend time like hiding in the corner in a room. See, there's your Totem of Undying. So now you got 2 of those. So again, Totem of Undying can be very beneficial for you. And again, you don't necessarily always get your emerald, but you will get your Totem of Undying for those evokers. Today we covered shipwrecks, monuments, buried treasure, ruins, and the mansion in Minecraft, guys. And more importantly, actually just as importantly, the locate command. So the main reason for the video was to show off that this locate command exists, and it can take you exactly to where you want to go, especially if you don't want to spend hours upon hours trying to find some of the big things in the game. You know, if you want to take shortcuts, that's fine. You know, I won't judge. There's no problem with that, especially if you're playing in creative and you just want to see what it looks like. You've never seen it before. Always something cool to see, guys. And yeah, so that's all for the video today, dudes. I hope you liked what I had to show you. Again, if you haven't been in Minecraft for a while, I hope this maybe gets you a little bit excited to jump back in and take a look at what's there to offer since the last time you've been in Minecraft. And till next time, guys, bye-bye.